All right, guys, welcome to the show. It's so weird without an opening. But welcome to the show, everybody. It is Wednesday, June 21st at roughly 11:15 a.m. I hope everybody's doing well. I missed you. We're going to get into a few things today. Obviously, the show is, I don't know. I don't know what to say about what's going on. You see that we're trying to take steps here to get back onto terrestrial radio. And that's pretty much what it is. The actual show, I wouldn't call this a show. It's probably going to start on Monday. I'm going to have more of a format. I'm going to start having guests. We're going to add a phone line to it. And we'll do a show. Not too much every day, probably about an hour or so. You know me, I ramble, so it could go longer. And that'll start on Monday. Until then, I'm just going to pop on today, tomorrow, next day, and we're just going to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. You know, I want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the news because the whole world is going to S in a handbasket, as my mommy would say, which I do want to say happy birthday to my mom. She passed a while ago, so it's a birthday in heaven, but I love you and happy birthday. A lot of stuff going on in the news that makes zero sense whatsoever. I mean, just absolutely zero sense. Doesn't really, fit. Like you have everything from yesterday. I don't know if, I'm sure everybody was watching yesterday, but Hunter Biden got off everything that this guy's done, and they charged him with, I believe it was 2 IRS charges that meant nothing. And then the gun charge where he lied on his gun application because he was a junkie. We know that because we've seen pictures. Now, I guess they're going to give him 2 years probation. If he doesn't violate, then nothing will happen. Problem is, you and I wouldn't get that same courtesy. If you or I lied on an application to get a gun, they would throw you in jail. I believe it was for 10 years because I was told that when I went to go get my gun permit, and I said, well, I also have a medical marijuana card. Is that okay? And they said, no. The guy said, well, it's not the man. If you didn't tell us and you didn't put that down, they'd lock you up for 10 years and they don't play around. They really come and just grab you and put you in jail. So that would be if you were one of us. Apparently if your last name is Biden, apparently you're allowed to buy guns and smoke coke and molest children and do whatever you want. And it's fine. And when people get on my ass the other day, because I was mentioning the fact that Hunter, there are pictures of Hunter with children, basically, with very young children. He's naked. The kids are junk level when he stands up, if that makes sense. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And they put these pictures out online from his laptop, which everybody was saying wasn't his laptop. Everybody from Comey and Clapper and everybody, it's Russian disinformation. No, it wasn't. No, what? Well, then, if it was Russian disinformation, how did they get pictures of him? How come they never denied those pictures? But as soon as they put these pictures out, they take them right off and they call it child pornography. That's why they get it offline. Well, if it's child pornography to look at a picture of it online, which I agree with, I don't think it should be online. Isn't it child pornography? Or not pornography, but he's making porn if he's videotaping himself with these kids. Isn't that molestation? Isn't that pedophilia? Isn't that against the law? Maybe somebody could explain something to me because things are a little wacky in my life. I don't understand what's legal and what's illegal anymore. So if somebody would be kind enough to start telling me what's legal, what's illegal, because I'll play the game with you. Not the kid thing. That's disgusting. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying, I don't. You're allowed to shoplift now. Apparently, that's legal. You can go into a store, don't have to pay anything. Bring your friends. A few bags and you're good. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't apply to everybody. It doesn't apply to everybody. So if you're of a certain ethnicity, you're allowed to do it. If you're a white guy and you do it, they're going to pummel you. They're going to arrest you and they're going to throw you in jail. If you are an American citizen, you can't do anything. But let everybody come in from other countries because we're allowing these criminals to just flood in our southern border. And then we're shocked when they go and they rob places, because here's the thing too. Criminals in America are different from criminals in other parts of the world. Other parts of the world, it's a little more savage. You know what I mean? There are not as many cops, not as many rules, not as many things to do. So what they do, is they literally take the lowest of the low from the other countries and they bring them over here. And then we act like, well, they're going to act civilized now. All they wanted was a better life. No, that's not what they wanted. What they wanted to do was rob, steal. They wanted everything that wasn't theirs. They wanted to live that wild life. And that's not something we do in a morally adjusted and society. Like our society in this country was built on morals, and it's kind of like the Ten Commandments, whether you're Catholic or not. But the Ten Commandments are pretty much your moral base for a good life. And once again, you don't have to be Catholic. You don't even have to believe in God. But when you look at the Ten Commandments, most of them, not all, most of them are just telling you not to be a dick. When you think about it, just don't be a dick. Don't curse. Don't steal my stuff, and don't F my wife. That's all. That's all I'm asking. Hey, and if you're my neighbor, that's all I want from you. Don't curse, don't steal, and don't screw my wife. There you go. Fair enough. There's some morality for you. But unfortunately, we don't have any anymore. It's just, take what's yours. That's why in San Francisco, which used to be a beautiful, beautiful city, I had never been, I'm not going to lie, never been there. But I did see it on, I believe it was The Price is Right, because they used to sponsor, well, they didn't sponsor, that would be silly, not the city, but Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat, would sponsor Let's Make a Deal. So you would get those views of that little trolley train thing going down the big hill, and it was it looked like a nice place to visit. Yeah, at Alcatraz, I get it, but that was out in the water. Looked gorgeous. Now, not so much. Now, I guess it was somebody on YouTube had showed some videos of his wife and himself went to go check this place out. This place, but they went on vacation to San Francisco, and the guy said, besides jumping over piles of human excrement and urine, streams of urine and needles and whatever, there really wasn't much to take pictures of. It's no longer that beautiful San Francisco that we all kind of remembered from The Price is Right. And that's because when you elect stupid and you elect corrupt and you elect AKA the Democratic Party, this is what happens to your cities. It's what happens to everything. It happens. What's happened to morality? It's what happens to the country. It's, you got, the doddering dope in chief in the White House, who is just such a pandering douche. He's kind of like, he reminds me of, what's her name? Mealy, the governor of Massachusetts. Yesterday, she makes a big fool. This woman, by the way, I guess she's gay because that's the first thing she says every time she opens her mouth. I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm gay. Yeah, we get it. Something. I don't care that you're gay. You know what I mean? Do I think it's kind of hot? Yeah, I do. I kind of dig that. But we're not on that level. You're my governor. You know what I mean? Like if we would just meet in a bar and you're like, hey, you want to hang out? By the way, I got another chick. You know what I mean? I kind of go both ways or whatever. Bing, bang, boom, I'm in. But as my governor, how about you shut your face about who you're sleeping with and just do your job? And for the love of God, stop pandering. I mean, granted, Biden has to be the example, but she's a panderer. That's all she does. Now, yesterday was this Juneteenth thing that everybody now is, I guess it's a national holiday. I don't know when that, I guess that had to be, I don't know when that became official, but I had never heard of this until Trump came in office. But you had Juneteenth. So what does this idiot in Massachusetts do? Of course, she invites African Americans over and then the Hispanic community, because you don't want to exclude anybody for Juneteenth. What does the Hispanic community have to do with Juneteenth? Oh, nothing. But you know something? The Democrats don't see you as people. They see you as ethnicities. And they have combined African American and they have combined Spanish and Hispanic. And you know how? Because if you've noticed, anytime they talk about black people, they'll say black and brown people, black and brown people. What is that? So with black and brown people, is that Hispanic? Is that Middle Eastern? Is it Greek? Is it Italian? What are brown people? What the hell does that mean, brown people? And I find it very insulting that they call other people by the color of their skin. I don't like being called a white person. I'm Brian. I'm not a white person, but these Democrats, they just put you in, they just put you in a room, thousands and thousands of people. What, you're white? Well, then you must fit in with them. You're black? You must fit in with them. You're Spanish? You must fit in with them. It doesn't work that way, but in the Democratic Party, it does. So I was watching Mealy raise this flag, this Juneteenth flag with a whole bunch of people. And I mean, when I say a whole bunch, it had to be in the double digits, at least. Very low double digits, but the double digits. I think there was about 15 people there. And I think most of them were brown. They weren't African American people. They were, Hispanic people or whatever who just were like, hey, I'll get in the picture. Sure. I'm sure those were people just walking around, Massachusetts, and she realized nobody was showing up for this. So like, just throw them in the background. So that happened yesterday. This state, I don't want to leave, and I can't right now just because I have partial custody of 2 dogs. So I'm not leaving. But boy, the economics, the politics, the just everything makes you want to just pick up and go. The gas prices, the taxes, there's new nonsense that I forgot to pay my excise tax, right? So excise tax for you people that don't live in Massachusetts, it's just another way for the state to F you. Okay. And what they do is they're charging you basically to drive on their roads. Okay. You would assume they don't have any tolls in the state then? Well, that wouldn't be true. But they're going to charge you, and they charge you off how new your car is. So let's say you have a brand new car with 20 grand. Well, they're going to charge you 10%, whatever. I don't know the percentages, but they'll charge you that. If you have an older car, you pay less, which is kind of weird because the older the car, the more junky the car, the more damage it's going to do to stuff. But whatever. It's Massachusetts. Just think backwards and you'll be okay. So I forgot to pay it. Right. And it wasn't a lot of money the first thing. I think it was like, $80, $90, something like that. But since I didn't pay it, and I'm not kidding you, everybody, it's in the high hundreds now. Like the fine is absolutely astronomical. And I said to him, well, look, I never got notified. And they're like, well, look, sucks to be you. You got to pay it. So that makes me want to leave. That's a dumb tax that I've never even heard of. I mean, granted, I'm sure some other states do it too, but this is just stupid. And to live here in Massachusetts is almost impossible. If you don't make good money, right, you can't stay here unless you want to live in a slum, and even the slums are expensive. For a 1-bedroom in Massachusetts, I think the average, I'm going to say I think because I've been looking around because I'm getting the old bootski here. So I've been looking around. I'm finding about 23 to 2,600 for a slum. So if you can make what would that be? If you can make $650 a week after taxes to just throw away at rent, you can live in a slum if you want to move to Massachusetts. You could go to Dorchester where they're shooting people on the streets. You could go to Brockton where people are shooting up outside your house and still pay $2,500 a month. It's absolutely incredible how backwards this state is. I don't know why it's so expensive. There's really nothing here. It's not warm. It gets cold as hell quick. Plus, you barely have a winter up here. Like I grew up in New Jersey and New York. Summer started May, end of April, early May, and ended September, mid-September. Here, summer starts, I don't know, what day is it? June 21st? Probably starts in about 9 or 10 days. It'll start in July, and it'll end September 1st. And it's like somebody throws a light switch. You'll go from 100 degrees outside to 40 degrees, all within a day or two. So it's not the weather that I like up here. It's not, and I hate saying this because everybody, I know I'm not picking on your home state, but I'm just saying it's not that pretty of a state. It's kind of like a white trashy version of a nice state, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because there's just a lot of rocks and garbage and just everything looks it looks like you're driving through 1975, or the movie The Warriors, when, from the 70s, when you drive around here. It's just dumpy. It's dumpy. Plus, like, the food up here sucks. And I'm so tired of going to a food place, a pizza place in general. Once again, I come from New Jersey, New York, the best pizza in the country. And I hate when people say that, but it's true. Well, I got to figure everybody came through Ellis Island. Most of the, people that know how to make pizza coming right over from Italy and all those places just stayed. They went to Jersey, New York, Connecticut. That's why it's the best pizza in the country. Up here, and I swear to God, I've seen this a million times, it's pizza and something. Like normally in Jersey, it would be pizza and, I don't know, Italian food. Go figure. Who knew? So you would have pizza, you could have ravioli, you could have lasagna, you could have ziti, whatever you want. Just Italian food. Up here, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen this, it will be pizza and roast beef. I don't understand the combination. That grosses me out. Pizza and fish. I just saw that the other day. Disgusting. Pizza and hamburgers. Why? I don't understand. It's gross. I mean, there is just, and the other thing is now everybody gets mad, getting ethnic, but listen, don't mean to be a jerk about this, and I'm just pointing it out. Don't kill the messenger. A lot of pizza places in Massachusetts are run by Middle Eastern people. Okay, and I don't mean like over by Italy, Middle Eastern people. I mean very Middle Eastern people. Like it smells like curry when you walk in. Why? Like what? When did you think you knew how to make pizza? I'm not saying you have to be Italian to make pizza, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I'll tell you, every woman that I've gone out with that was Italian, phenomenal cook. Phenomenal. That's why I weighed 270 pounds. You know what I mean? It was phenomenal, But then like yesterday, here's the thing. I used to live on pizza in Jersey and in New York, live on it. Literally ate it 4 or 5 times a week for dinner. No joke. I did. I haven't had pizza up here in probably a year because it's just so gross. It's disgusting. What cheese is that? And why does it taste like plastic? And why does it look like plastic? Why is it yellow? Like, I mean, are you using cheddar? Like, what's going on? Yeah, well, actually, there was a place here when I first moved up here that we went to. I forget what it was called. It's in Quincy. God damn it! It's part of the Adams Inn, which is a real dump, but it's a hotel, motel, hotel, Holiday Inn, whatever it is. But they have this little bar there, and this is when I was commuting back and forth doing the Dr. K show. So we were on in Jersey, New York, DC, and here. So they would send me, lucky me, to these different studios sometimes. So I'd stay for a week and make sure everything was all right. Blah 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 blah. And I went to this place. I drove from DC to Boston. It took forever. I was starving. And because I didn't want to stop. I just wanted to get there. And when you're on those long 10-hour drives and you're just staring through the windshield, you're just like, whatever. So I finally get to this place and I'm like, all right. So it was me and this guy, Joe Green, who used to be on the show. And we're both starving. So first thing we do is we order our Tito's vodka, and we're slamming vodkas. And the guy says, well, are you hungry? The kitchen's going to close soon. And we said, yeah. You got pizza? Yeah. All right, we'll just take a pizza. We'll make it easy. We don't want to be dicks about this. So they brought the pizza out, and it was like a neon orange color. Like I didn't know what that was. And it smelled like a dirty asshole. Like that's, not saying I've smelled many of those, but what I assume a dirty asshole would smell like. It stunk the place up. It was nauseating. And of course, we didn't eat it, but like that was probably not the worst I've seen here. I go all over the place. In a chat room, Night Patrol is saying, let's see, Papagino, stop it. Stop it with Papagino's. Or Town Spa is good in Stoughton. I've had Town Spa, not bad, but also not consistent. Like, you see, but I got to be fair about that because I was really drunk the first time I went. I was really high the second time I went. Both times, phenomenal. Third time I went, almost seemed like frozen pizza to me. Like they just threw it on a piece of cardboard, threw it through a conveyor belt, and that was that. There's actually a place, here, check this out. There's actually a place right down the street from that, not even a mile away. It's called something Trattoria, Tony's Trattoria, I think. And they have good pizza, or had good pizza. They got that sauce I don't like. I don't like chunky sauce. I don't want to see chunks of crap in my sauce. Puree it. You know what I mean? Like, especially if it's pizza sauce, why are there chunks in it? That's nasty. But I think they kind of, when I ordered lasagna there the last time, they had chunky sauce on it and it grossed me out. So I'll never go back. But if you do not mind that, and as far as taste-wise goes, I'd say that is the closest pizza I've had to Jersey, New York pizza up here. And I'll look for you. It's on my phone. I think it's Tony's Trattoria. And I always put Brockton if I'm Googling it, but it's not Brockton. It's actually just down the street from Brockton. But it's Stoughton. I'm an idiot. Night Patrol said that. So that's a good place. Wow, that's about it. The other place that I like Italian-wise, and I don't know why I'm going to tell you what I like Italian-wise because nobody asked, but it's a place my ex-girlfriend and I used to go to, and it's north of Boston, not too far. It's called Tono, right? Tono something or other, I guess. But Tono means fish. I don't know if that means fish, but it's a fish place. I ain't even trying to eat fish. And most of the people there don't, so it don't stink like fish, which is nice. But they have a phenomenal, I'm so simple, a phenomenal meat sauce, which I'll eat their meat sauce because it's very expensive. And you can tell it's a classy place. So you're not eating like, McDonald's hamburger chopped up. And ziti, it's just phenomenal. I'm so simple. That's why I used to say that, to people I'm going out with, I am such a simple guy. Like, I'm not a simpleton, but I'm easy to please. If you say, hey, Bry, what do you want for dinner? It's usually going to be Italian or cereal. Either one. You can have whatever you want. I don't care. Go get sushi. I don't care. I ain't going to kiss you after that. You know what I mean? Especially if you're, I was going to, whatever. But I mean, like, if, I have a thing. My mom used to say that was always a problem with me. I always have a thing, like if I'm going out with a woman, right, and we go somewhere and she eats something I don't like, I don't want to kiss her anymore. Like if she eats sushi or something, we got to let that cool down for a day or two. You got to brush your teeth a few hundred times. You got raw fish stuck in your teeth. That's nasty. But Tono's a great place too. That's all I'm trying to say, Night Patrol. If you want to check a good place out, Tono's good, and then that Tony's Trattoria is another good one. But up here, the food sucks ass. It's horrible. I live over by Hingham, Weymouth, that area. And there's one place, Denley's, that they have here. Denley's pizza looks good. If you look at it, you're like, damn, that looks good. When you eat it, you realize there is zero taste to it. It tastes, I don't know if they're going for that taste like nothing effect, but boy, did they achieve it because it has zero taste. and I've dumped like garlic and stuff on it just to get a taste to it, and it's I mean, once again, I tend to be a little picky and I bitch a lot, but I'll go there rather than anywhere else. I mean, when your best option up here is Domino's, you know that there's not a big Italian community. It's just not a big thing, if you will. Now, very quickly, like I said, we're just BSing shows. I'm going to try to put together like a more formatted show that will start on Monday. Um, and like I said, I wanted to get back on here and talk to you guys, see what's going on. Let's see, Knife Joe saying Linwood's in Holbrook. Now, you see, now I'm going to bounce you from this effing room. I will bounce you from this room, my friend, because I've had Linwood's and it stinks. It is tiny. It is that is frozen generic pizza. That is crap. And I've been there, I don't know, I'm going to say 3 or 4 times. That's all right, Night Patrol. That's fine. But I went to that place like 3 or 4 times. First off, they got the tiniest little bar. That's another place. What is it? What is it with Massachusetts and like the 1970s, 1980s feel to everything? I don't think anything's been updated since then, which is fine. I'm nostalgic. I like old stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I will say, though, that when you go into Linwood's, that place is probably, it looks exactly the way and the same lighting as it did from, 74, 75. They still have a Space Invaders machine in the corner. You know, they got a jukebox in the corner. It's old. And then they're dicks. Like the waitresses there are dicks. Because the first time I went there, I think I asked them for Parmesan cheese. And she gave me such a, for what? I'm like, for the pizza, stupid. You know what I mean? Like, what did you think it was for? And she's like, we don't do that. We don't have that here. They don't like giving you stuff that would actually add flavor to the pizza because they act like they're chefs and like, oh, you don't need to add anything. It's like adding salt to something and a chef would be all insulted. Unfortunately, the chef is a drunk junkie that just that just stumbled into work. You know what I mean? Because he needs a fix later on today. These aren't chefs. You're making pizza. That's all you do. You can't order anything else but pizza there. And for a place that, only serves pizza, it should be better. And let's see, real quick. John's in chat room. What's up, brother? He's saying bar pizza sucks. Totally disagree with that. In Jersey, I know I keep saying that. I hate when people do that. But in Jersey, bar pizza is different. Bar pizza is thin. It's crispy. It's good. It's really good. It just has a different taste to it altogether. Bar pizza up here, once again, is generic. It's bland. It's like, it's almost like with that Linwood place. It's like they went to Stop and Shop. They bought out all the Leo's pizza they could. They chop it in a little circle, and then they chuck it, in front of you, and then try to charge you $19 for it. I don't know. I've been there, and I didn't like it. I also think that the alcohol sucked because they give you little shot glasses for $12. I was not a fan of that place. Night Patrol says it's family owned, I think. Yeah, it is. Trust me, I read the menu. When I went, I read the back of the menu, which tells me how they got there and who's there and who's in charge. I would hope that it was probably better when they made a name with the other people because whoever's running it now don't seem to care. Let's see. They can be, yeah, it's true. They that can be, yeah, it can be. It's just not good. I might be going to Jersey for a funeral in the first week of July. And I'll be grabbing pizza there. So any of you guys who want to try a Jersey pizza or New York, because I'll be going to New York too. And I'll probably be stopping at L&B Spumoni Gardens in Brooklyn, which is a pretty famous pizza place, but it's really good. And unfortunately, the place I really used to like, it was called Anthony's Pizza. It was on 86th and Bay 28th. I used to live there in Brooklyn. And that was the pizza shop that if you ever saw Saturday Night Fever, yes, I know it's old and I'm old. I get it. But if you ever saw Saturday Night Fever, it's the place where John Travolta walks up to the window on the sidewalk. He gets 2 slices of pizza, put one on top of the other, and eats it as he's walking down the street. It's that place. I used to go there all the time. That place, honestly, that pizza was good as hell. I don't know why. They closed because of COVID, actually, and it just happened recently. They said they were never able to get their feet under them again, which is a shame because that's been around for, I think it was 50 years or so. Pizza, phenomenal. So if you guys want to try some of that stuff, let me know. I'll bring you some up. I'm cool like that. And I'll be going down, I think, the weekend of June 8th. So we could try that. Let's see real quick. My eyes are so bad, guys. I'm sorry. John says, a couple of chefs left and opened their own store. Bazaba Pizza. I'll try it. I mean, it's got to be better than that. Although I've been trying not to eat so much. Well, actually, I'm not trying. I think the only reason I've kind of lost a little bit of weight up here is because I can't eat the food. It's just crap. I when I tell you, listen how neurotic I could be, and I think the people that listen to the show and have listened to the show for a long time get that I'm nuts. I get it. But I'm down to a weird diet of Cheerios, mini wheats, bananas, watermelon, and those watermelon's gonna be out of season soon. Um, hmm. Oh, and French fries. So that's what I live on now, and it's only because I'm so stuck in my way of the way things are supposed to taste. And here's the other thing: you can't eat like meatloaf is something I used to eat when I was a kid. I tried to get it up here once because I thought I'd be doing something good for myself, and disgusting. Well, you don't have to put pounds of crap in it. It just put what breadcrumbs and whatever. You don't have to put chunks of peppers and onions and then put ketchup on top. What is this? Like, and that's if you go to I forget the name of that place. Boston Market, ironically enough. And they have this meatloaf thing, and they cover the top with this tangy, disgusting ketchup. And once again, when I first got here, I tried it, and there again, I can't do it. So now I'm literally back down to just eating cereal like a child would 24/7. So I think when I go to Jersey, I'm going to be doing a lot of shopping and freezing stuff when I bring it back up. But all right, now, like I said, just quickly, because I know a lot of you guys are still on those other platforms. I appreciate it, and I'd like to see the numbers of those or whatever. But if you want, and I would appreciate it, go over to YouTube, search Renegade Radio Boston. You could join our buddy John and Night Patrol there, and whoever else is hiding in the lurk. I don't even know if that's the expression, but whoever's hiding there, you could see and just say hi and whatever. But right now, once again, not the show. The Renegade Radio, I want to say, is on hiatus. So it's just going to be me for a while. And then, I'm trying to get back onto terrestrial. And if I could do that, I pulled little Johnny Two Shoes with me. So that's what we're kind of doing. And I'm just kind of getting back in the swing of this for this week. So I figured I'd pop on for, a little while each day. I missed you guys. That's true. And I hate the way that it all kind of went away. And I apologize for that. That was just things that, you know what I mean? Just boom, out of nowhere, things just happen. So I'm back. I do got to find out how you guys can hear the music, though. That's going to be a thing because I love having music, and it just sounds bizarre to me without it. But like I said, I'm going to set this up more as like in a show format, and we'll try to have guests sometimes and things like that. And it won't be long, probably like an hour or two a day, every day, Monday through Friday, while I can. And then once we get on terrestrial, we'll do that because I did get some pretty good news. Well, I don't say it was good news, but it was something yesterday where from two different people in the industry that I've written before that are now saying, okay, send me your stuff. So if we could do that, you never know. Renegade might be back on quicker than we think. So ask the Lord, pray to God. And I think you never know. Prayers are answered. The other thing people ask me about this stock, I gotta talk about this real quick. If you guys are in the stock market, right? I was in the stock market. I used to be a stockbroker, believe it or not, years and years ago in another lifetime. And I was a principal. I was pretty high up there. I mean, I liked it. It was a great job, kind of. Not something I wanted to do the rest of my life, but it was okay. During the Trump era, had invested heavily in stuff and was making really good money. But who wasn't? Everybody was making. It was a great economy. The stock market was booming. You don't hear about that anymore. Remember in the beginning, they tried to say, the stock market's just like it was with Trump. And look, it's booming. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's being artificially held up, and it's right on the verge of collapse. And I think we all know that. The other thing that is going on, which the SEC is crap, and I'm telling you something, that's another organization that really should be looked into. There's a stock out there that I'm going to tell you about, and I'm not recommending it. I bought it. I've lost a lot of money on it. I'm still in it. And I'm disgusted by the manipulation. I'm disgusted by the shorting. A lot of people don't know what that is. Shorting is just a strategy where you sell something before you buy it. Okay. So normally if you're buying a stock, you buy it and then you sell it. So you hope to buy it low, sell it high. Shorting is the exact opposite of that, which means you think the stock's going lower. So you sell it without owning it. Let's say the stock's trading at 10, you sell it at 10 and you hope it goes down. And then when you buy it, it's called a cover buy. You now are replacing the shares you already sold. So you don't own anything, but you've replaced those shares and that money gets released to you. Okay. if it were done like it should by individual investors and people just, kind of that know what they're doing, it wouldn't be such an issue. But unfortunately, what happens is you have these companies that have hundreds or tens and hundreds of millions of dollars that realize, hey, wait a second, we can make markets in this. And what they do, a lot of them, because they'll it's fund managers and market makers and all this crap. What they do is they'll get warrants from a company, and a warrant basically is your right to buy a stock at a certain price. So let's say the stock's trading at 10. You get the warrant to cover yourself at 10. Okay. And then you start shorting it and you force the price from 10 down to 5 because you can do that, especially if you have millions of dollars. And then you cover buy. Well, you just made $5 a share, but that's normally not enough for these pigs. So they keep going and going and going. And in the meantime, people are selling, people are losing all their money. I mean, they're decimating the retail investor. You would think that the SEC would pop in there and say something or stop it. But the SEC sucks, and they're an organization that really just upholds this nonsense. So you had this stock, and I'll tell you the call letters if you want to check it out, XWEL. It was Express Spa. They were a spa in the airports. Now, it sounds stupid. I would never have invested in a spa in airports. But when COVID came, they became the testing centers. Okay. So that's why I invested. Then after, Biden had to open his stupid doddering mouth a year early and say, COVID's over, it just smashed the stock. Now, they've moved into other testing. They are with another company called Ginkgo, and those two companies are doing the bathroom water testing on the planes, and it's something it's biological or biosurveillance, and it's going to be around forever, you'd think. Should have been around before. But, and here's the but, the people that own the company don't give two craps about it. They don't care it's manipulated. They've already made their money. And the people that are manipulating it know that they're technically covered. They're never going to lose more than what they sold it for. So once again, if they sold it for 10, they have warrants to buy it at 10. And let's say the stock goes to 50 now. They could still buy it at 10 with those warrants. They didn't lose any extra money. There's no risk for them. For us, there is. I've lost, no joke, I don't even believe I'm saying this on the air, 85% of my investment in about a year. And the reason I couldn't get out of it is it dropped like a stone within 2 or 3 days. And then it became thinly traded and that is another strategy of these scumbags that are screwing the retail investor, where it used to trade millions of shares a day. Now it trades about 100,000. So if you went in and sold 10,000 shares, that's a tenth of the day's trading. You're going to force that stock down. Like somebody did earlier this morning. I think they sold 8,000 shares. It went down 2 cents. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you own, let's say, 200,000 shares, 300,000 shares, that's a ton of money you're losing every time that happens. And then you can't sell because every time you sell, you're forcing your own price down. Will the SEC get involved? No, because they're shit and they're involved in this. There's a company out there that you should be if you guys do invest, it'll take you 10 seconds. And this is, once again, these are just tips from me, and take them for what they're worth. I'm not saying I know everything because I certainly don't. But if you have a stock that is involved with, I think it's called BlackRock or Sabby Management, SABBY Management, get out of it. Those two are the biggest manipulating scumbag companies out there. Sabby just got charged from the SEC for manipulating over 10 stocks, but of course not my stock. And not even, this is how far behind the SEC is. They claim the manipulation was between 2017 and 2019, 4 years ago. We got manipulation going on right now that they can't or won't deal with. You know what I mean? So it's incredible. So I'm sitting here literally watching my entire life get flushed down the effing toilet as these pigs are doing nothing to save it. And I keep writing the SEC. I keep writing all this. They don't do anything. So if you're going to invest, it don't matter if you're a broker, not a broker, invested for 20 years or not. You got to be real careful nowadays because they have let the reins loose on just the criminality. They're allowed to lie to you. This company technically should be taken over, I believe, should be taken over. Will it? I don't know. And will they tell us anything's going on? No, they won't. So, the stock market itself is just a bunch of crap. So anyway, we'll be having when I'm doing the show next week, well, maybe a little stock segment. I'm trying to do like little segments. We'll do obviously news, we'll do current affairs, we'll do stories, we'll do all that good stuff. It'll be just like the old show, just minus John, and that sucks because I miss my buddy, but he'll be back, everybody. Let's see. The other thing, and I know this probably won't be relevant by Monday, but I guess we've all heard of the sub that went missing. I guess it's a 5-person sub and they were selling access to go down and see the Titanic. Which sounds pretty cool when you think about it. But I don't know if you guys have seen it, and I'll play this later. But if you've seen the video of it's one of the guys, I guess, who paid for it, and they're bringing him into the sub, and they're going, "Ooh, look how big it is! Like it's not a little sub like you thought." Well, you know something? Yeah, if you're only in it for an hour or two, I'm sure it's a little roomy. When you're stuck at the bottom of the ocean in it, I'm sure I'd be freaking out, man. I'd be totally freaking out. I don't like getting in airplanes. I don't like that tube feeling in an airplane. And you could stand up and walk around in an airplane. You ain't standing up and walking around in that sub, man. It's a tiny, tiny sub. And it only has enough oxygen, they said, for, I guess, they said this yesterday, but 24 hours. So they got to find these people. And then you read the article, and you find out that our government's not helping yet. Like we're preventing help. It's stupid. But they were showing how a lot of what was in the sub or helps run the sub, whatever was all like homemade do-it-yourself crap. Like it actually, the entire sub ran on a game controller like that you would use for, like PlayStation or something. Like no joke. It was just a controller. And you're thinking, well, this seems really, kind of cheap, a slip shoddy. Didn't seem people still got in, and a guy brought his kid with him. A father and son went. And then unfortunately, nobody knows what happened. They just never came back up. They don't know where it is. Recently, they said, I guess that, let's see, less than 24 hours of breathable air is on board. And this was out about 5 or 6 hours ago. U.S. Coast Guard announces assets to assist search. Oh, that's nice of them. And they just did that today. Coast Guard is set for the 1 p.m. press conference giving updates on the weather conditions for the Titan search. These people, imagine being in that thing, man. I would be freaking out. You'd probably, if they do find them and I was on it, there would be 4 people and a corpse because they would have killed me because I cannot stand that stuff. I freak out, man. I don't like small places. I get claustrophobic and I get very panicky. And that's really new for me. I've never been a panicky guy, but all of a sudden now, like if you put me in a tight situation, I think it's all when it started when I was on a plane. I was coming back from seeing my sister in North Carolina, and I got on a plane. Yes, I had taken edibles, and we could just assume every story I have, I had just taken an edible. That's easier. And I got on, and as soon as I got on and they shut the door, the whole thing, now I'm thinking to myself, all right, I got a 2-hour flight. Let's just get this over with. Because I don't like flying. I don't think anybody does. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And all of a sudden, you see a lightning strike outside. And you're thinking, oh, hurry up. We better hurry. Then they tell you that we've been grounded because the ground crew isn't allowed out onto the runway for 15 minutes after the last lightning strike. Okay. So think about that. Lightning strike, you got to wait 15 minutes. I sat on that runway staring out the window. By the way, we were right there. So I could look in the window and I could see the bar that I was just at, thinking, why couldn't we just all wait at the bar? It's silly. And lightning strike. And I started timing them. And all of a sudden, towards the end, it would go 10, 12, 13 minutes, lightning strike. 13, 14 minutes, lightning strike. It did that like 4 times. 2 hours we were grounded in that little friggin' tube, just sitting there with your legs all pressed up because I didn't buy the extra room seat because I'm broke. And I'm 6'1", you know what I mean? So it's not comfortable. I'm not a small guy, so you're jammed in that little seat. And I started freaking, man. And I really thought to myself at one point, do I risk getting arrested and just saying, look, let me the F out. And if you don't let me out, I'm opening the door, I'm getting out. But then I realized they would throw me in a smaller cell and I'd just be stuck there and couldn't get out. So at least, on the plane, I could listen to my iPod or my phone, and just kind of distract myself. In jail, they wouldn't let me do that. So, I don't know. I feel horrible for these people. I know that people online are already making jokes and normally I'm okay with jokes like that, but something, man, there are 5 people and they're going to suffocate and that's horrible. I hope we find them. Just horrific what's going on over there, but we'll I guess talk about that more tomorrow too. Let's see. John Durham, I guess he's testifying, which is hilarious. Because how much money did we piss away on the Durham report? A lot, right? So we pissed away a lot of money. The conclusion was nothing happened, but Biden, Obama, and Hillary are the ones that came up with the Russian collusion hoax. Okay, that's the finding. But the Democrats don't want to hear it, so it doesn't exist. The Democrats remind me of children that cover their ears and say, "I can't hear you," la 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 la, because that's what they're doing. Nothing will ever happen about that. And more so, James Clapper came out today and defended suggesting Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. Said, "Nah, yeah, of course it was. I thought it was." And still to this day, it's not. We know it's not though. Even Hunter himself hasn't denied it. His lawyer, who tried to sue the guy that turned it over to the FBI, why would you sue him if it's not yours? So it's his, but they're still holding on to the lie. And Clapper and people like that should be in jail. 100%, man. They should absolutely be. There should not even be a question. They should be in jail. Why? Because they should answer to a higher authority. We look to them to tell us the truth. They're the ones that have information to this nonsense, not us. And then have these pigs, these paid shills sit there and lie to us, and we just sit there and continuously take it. I'm fed up. I'm telling you, man. I cannot tell you how fed up with people, how fed up with this country, how fed up with the majority of these dirtbags that will just consistently step on our Constitution and act like whatever. You know what I'm really tired of? I'm tired of Democrats, okay? Because you're not real Democrats. You're socialists. Let's stop it. I am a Democrat, okay? I used to be a Democrat. And what I mean by that is I'm very socially liberal, very, meaning should gay people get married? Sure. I don't care. The reason that gay people in the beginning wanted to get married was because, let's say, your partner was in the hospital dying, God forbid, especially during the AIDS epidemic. They wouldn't allow that person, unless they were family, to go in and sit with them. That's not right. I don't care who you love or whatever. That person's leaving this world. This isn't a joke. This isn't something that you could just replay and do over. Let them be comforted with the people they love surrounding them. Who are you to say no? That's what I mean by being liberal. Is everybody entitled to the same rights in this country? Yes. American citizens. Yes. You lucked out. You were born or came to the best country in the world, and we allowed you to stay. So yes, you're allowed. Is what's going on now okay? No. No. You don't keep your southern border open and tell illegals they have the right that everyone else that did things the correct way have. That's stupid. The Democrats are doing everything that we said they were going to do years ago, and nobody wants to acknowledge that. We said they're going to win the election. They're going to open the border. They're going to give illegals the right to vote, because then who then is going to vote against the party that just allowed you into the country and gave you the vote? And that's exactly what they're doing right under your noses. Nobody seems to care. We know that there was voter fraud in 2020. No, there's not. No, there was. There is absolute solid proof. Whether you say it's enough proof or not, I don't give two craps about. But the fact is, there is proof. There's video proof. There's there's witnesses. There's tons of proof. Just because you don't deem it as enough. Like, this is how I knew we were screwed in 2020, when everybody started yelling voter fraud, and they'd say, yeah, well, there was, but it wasn't enough to affect the election. What? Like that's your excuse? There wasn't enough. So that's how we should just, you know something? Yeah. He was going to kill that guy, but all he did was severely maim him. So it's okay. So, we know there's voter fraud. And then in this stupid industry that I'm in, when we got the boot ski, we didn't get the boot, but when the station flipped, we couldn't find another place. And then we found out stuff like this. Like, if you said there was voter fraud, you'd be fired. You couldn't be hired. If you had any association with somebody saying that, hey, it's kind of weird that they're forcing shots on us with COVID. And boy, it's weird that Biden just got the most votes in history. So he got more than Obama. He got more than Clinton. He got more than everybody. That doesn't make sense. What does make sense is Donald Trump got more votes than any sitting president in history, because we were doing so well. We were doing great. I like when people go, no, we weren't, not in the middle. You mean when COVID hit and we shut the country down? Well, of course it went down, you asshole. But look at the rebound. It was that huge V shape. You know what I mean? Because everything was done correctly. It's not the same anymore. So you're not going to tell me most people voted for this guy who, if you saw the video yesterday, God almighty, he's embarrassing. He's just embarrassing. And for people who act like, oh, here's my president. No, then you're embarrassing, because they had this thing where this woman, and I don't know if she was blind, because I know the blind guy had to lead him around one time, but she looked like she had some sort of disability. She's on the stage with him. Biden's doing that creepy thing where he can't figure out which way to go. So he holds his arms like a little T-Rex, and he kind of just looks back and forth like, oh, I gotta do. So she comes over and she grabs his hands, because both his hands are clasped, grabs him and starts pulling the president of the United States around. And he's going like he's trying to fight her, like he's going one way, she's going another. What is this crap? Donald Trump once almost slipped on a rainy ramp and people wanted him tested. He's not mentally capable. Oh, that's showing that he has some cognitive difficulties. This idiot can't. He shakes hands with people that aren't there. He has to be led around literally by the hands. He was talking the other day, and for some reason at the end of it said "God save the Queen," and nobody knows what he was talking about. I mean, he's an embarrassment. This guy's a douche. He's killing this country, man. He is killing this country, and we're not doing anything about it. Let's see. Once again, guys, if you want to join the chat room real quick, do it. Go over to YouTube. I'm going to start a different one too, because this one says Renegade Radio Boston. So you guys got to go to Renegade Radio Boston. Maybe I'll start one for just me. I don't know what I would name the show, and I don't want to name it Bry-Bry, but just so we're not commingling the two, so people that are looking at Renegade don't think, hey, where's the other guy? So let's see. Night Patrol says Judge Janine. No, it wasn't stolen. Oh, I know, dude. And what he's referring to is Judge Janine Pirro, who, once again, I am infatuated with. Even now, my ex-girlfriend used to look a lot like her, but hotter and younger. But Judge Janine, I don't know what it is about that lady. And it's only when she's on the 5. When they show her, when she does those pictures without makeup and stuff. But she's just so hot with makeup. She was on Jeff Cooner's show here in Massachusetts and was asked straight out, was the election of 2020 stolen? And she said no. She doesn't realize that a lot of us had watched her Saturday show on Fox and her on the 5 and all that stuff for years, and guest on Hannity and Tucker, and heard her say it was stolen, and heard her screaming about how the injustice. And now, what? You know what I mean? Like what now? Because you like the money, you don't want to get fired. I get it. I said this all yesterday too. If you're getting paid millions of dollars and somebody says, look, just say no and move on, keep it moving. What do you do? What do you do? I mean, granted, like I said, I would assume that my baby girl, Judge Janine, would be more character than that, but maybe not. I still think I'm looking for a job, and if they ever want anybody to dress her, I could put her in stuff I'd love, and you guys would like it too, because she dresses like a 4-year-old kid that was told to go dress for a princess party. She looks ridiculous. Half the stuff she wears is just comically stupid, and I don't know. Do they have people that pick these outfits, or is her taste that bad? But I don't know. Like I said, I used to be a huge JJ fan. Don't do it anymore. I don't watch the 5 because I can't take the liberal, whoever that is, that they sit next to her, because it switches all the time. You got Squirrel Face, that Tarloff lady, that's Squirrel Face. Then you have, I don't know the guy's name, but he almost looks like he has red curly hair. He's real creepy looking. And then, but it doesn't matter what their names are. Just random Democrat with the same exact views and opinions. That makes zero sense. That this is, I think the thing that's really starting to piss a lot of us off as Americans is, I don't care if you're too stupid to understand something. Okay. And trust me, I am far from the smartest person in the world. I'm not even the smartest person in this room, and I'm the only one here. But I will tell you, this is bullcrap. I am really getting tired of these liberals that you can say something and literally have facts, and what they do is they find that one little piece that they think they could turn it on you with. So instead of being an adult and saying, well, something, you have a point, they got to fight. There's this guy on Twitter that loves to comment on everything I say, and it's kind of like I get that he's just an insignificant little man who needs to argue. They need to argue. Kind of like there was a guy that I met yesterday at a Stop and Shop. Right, I went to Stop and Shop to grab something. He's a kid. He's probably in his 20s. I say a kid, but in his 20s. Ridiculous colored hair and whole bit, and just mushy. Like he's not he wasn't a big guy, whatever. So I asked him for help because he works there, and he gave me this attitude like you wouldn't believe. So I'm thinking, all right, just whatever. And I said to him, hey, well, can you help me do that real quick? And he sighed. And he goes, what do you think I'm doing? And it took everything in me to not grab him by the throat and just choke him out, because I come from a generation where we didn't talk shit through a computer screen. Like if you wanted to say something to somebody, you said it, but be prepared. You might get smacked in the head. You might get a punch in the face. You might, you might get your nose broke. But if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. These kids have this weird veil of protection over them. Like they feel like you're not going to hit me and I could be the biggest dick I want because this kid kept going and going. So finally, I just said to him, I said, look, man, you're not behind a computer screen and I don't give two shits. You know what I mean? So play that little tough liberal kid act with somebody else because I'll go to jail. And say all that, but you know something, I don't care. I'm not going to put up with your crap anymore. That's the problem. We've all put up with the crap of these people, the nonsense, these little bitchy things. Words hurt them. You know, sticks and stones break my bones, but words really make me cry. Like we've raised this generation of P words. I'm sorry if I curse too much. Every once in a while I just get too angry. But and you could do it on this thing. It's not for kids. I already checked that. But I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, why are we allowing this to happen? Why do we allow Joe Biden to give away hundreds of billions of dollars to the Ukraine? Why are we then watching our infrastructure? Hey, just a week ago, I believe it was in Pennsylvania somewhere. I think it was Philly. That bridge collapsed and killed that person. You don't hear anything about that. Well, hey, Buttigieg, you doing your job? Because I know I could name 5 things you've not done that have been massive failures just in the short time you've had that position of Secretary of Transportation. You stink at this. And the thing is, that guy shouldn't even be in that job. He was a mayor of some little dick town in the country nobody cared about. What is he? Because he got up and he took the spotlight a little bit and he took on Trump for a little bit. It's called payback, everybody. It's the reason why Marty Walsh got a position. And did you see what's going on with Marty Walsh? Marty Walsh used to be the mayor of Boston. Marty Walsh, what a piece of crap that guy was. Still is. He's the guy that during the riots that summer where, I don't know, every crunch state was just burning because of Antifa and BLM. And it was during COVID, so you weren't supposed to go out. I was a part of, believe it or not, Jeff Cooner's thing where they were going to have a rally at the State House, and it was to open the state back up. And it was on a Saturday. And we had a permit. And then on Friday, they pulled the permit. Can't do it. COVID. Can't do it. COVID. And in the same breath, issued out a permit for BLM to have a parade that Sunday, the day after. Now, what happened? And you don't have to be Nostradamus to figure this one out even before it happened. Well, Newberry Street got torched and robbed. And how many police cars and police officers got hurt? And it was mayhem. And Marty Walsh allowed that to happen because it benefited the Democratic Party. As soon as Biden stole the election, boom, Marty Walsh got an appointment. Now, guess what Marty's doing? Marty's stepping down. He's gonna take a job with a private company now and really make the millions, really get his payoff. It's sickening, and it's so blatant. You could really see this right in front of your faces. They're so dumb. But they don't care that they're dumb. And for some reason, we're allowing, like, I always thought this was funny. When they came out, when I say they, I'm talking about Democrats. When they come out with one of their dumb causes, and most of the time, I think most people look at each other and go, ugh, morons. But you're hoping that they'll get over it. Like, this is a flash in the pan. These people don't have a long attention span. They'll be bitching about transgendered bathrooms for a while, and then they'll move on. And the thing is, they've done that with so many things, but then they get their way because we just let them get their way because they don't, conservatives don't want to fight. No, not true. Conservatives want to fight, or leadership in a conservative party doesn't want to fight. We don't have leadership. Like, and that's something too. If you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, whatever, like I consider myself independent and I vote for the best party, but I lean conservative. I just do because I believe that this country should be self-sufficient. I believe it should be wealthy. I believe it should be safe. I'm sorry. I don't believe in letting everybody in the world in to take our resources, because unless you've never played a civilization video game, you'd realize that your resources are going to run out. The more people you have, the more resources you need. We don't have those resources. We're talking about shortages on everything, and these assholes are letting millions of people that we're not even vetting come in the country and act like if you say anything about it, well, you're a racist. Wait a minute. Why am I a racist? Like, I don't know the color or ethnicity of these people. They could be coming over from Sweden for all I know. I don't care. I don't want them coming in unless they're properly vetted and we can accept them. Back in the old days, if you wanted to come to the country, somebody had to vouch for you and say, yeah, I'll make sure this idiot doesn't break the law and is contributing member of society. Don't do that anymore. Now it's, if you don't take everybody, you're a racist and you're a dirtbag and you hate people. And well, here's what happened yesterday. And I don't know if a lot of people caught on to this yesterday. Very quickly, by the way, Frank Clark's in the chat room. What's up, brother? He said, love these daily live shows. Hey, man, thank you. I miss doing them. Trust me. Technically not a show yet. That'll be Monday. I'm going to try to do more of a format thing. We're just bitching to each other right now, just having a little fun. But once again, you guys on the other platforms, come on over. Renegade Radio Boston on YouTube. Renegade Radio Boston. Search that. You could join the chat room. I'm going to probably start a different chat room for whatever the hell this is that we're doing. But what I did want to bring up was, and this was yesterday, and I'm going to throw the number out, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have anything in front of me right now because why prepare? But I believe there was an accounting error, okay, with the U.S. government, which first and foremost shouldn't happen. You guys don't use computers or calculators, but there was some sort of error in their computing, and they wound up giving away, I think it was $8.6 billion more than anticipated to, you guessed it, everybody, the Ukraine. And I'm going to say the number once again. I might be wrong by a little bit, but not much. $8 billion. What kind of a mistake is that to make? You can't make an $8 billion. That's not even a rounding error. You can't make an $8 billion mistake. That was on purpose. These people want to bankrupt this country. The people in power now, we've elected the enemy. We've elected evil. And if you don't believe me, I could give you 10 different examples very quickly. As far as energy and coal and gas, well, you know something? I like the planet. I love the planet. I got a kid. I want to be a grandfather someday. So I'd like the planet to continue to exist. So maybe we should look into alternatives. Do you just turn off something immediately? Like you get elected and you go, all right, pipeline's closed. Or do you come in and say, okay, keep the pipeline open, but let's work on this until it can cover everything, and then we'll turn the pipeline off? Ooh, because that makes sense. I mean, there was that. Without energy, we're in a real lot of trouble, because during COVID, and this is what freaked me out, and I'm sure a lot of others in COVID, I think the realization of how horribly this country's been run hit me in the face, because we buy our pharmaceuticals from India and China. What? We don't make our own pharmaceuticals? Oh, people with heart conditions are going to die, and insulin is going through the... But wait a minute. We don't make it here? I didn't know that. Then it was PPE and all that nonsense, the masks and the gloves, and we don't make that here. You know, food gets sent over. They weren't sending food over here. So energy, food, I mean... And then PPE, we didn't have anything. We're not self-sufficient. So when we closed our borders with our hands out, saying, but everybody keeps sending us stuff. And what China did was they had 2 of those cargo ships full of stuff was on the way to America, and turned around and went back to China midway. And the reason being, China said, well, we need those supplies now. That's our stuff. Well, you know, as Americans, you say, what about us? Well, what about us? How dumb are we that we're depending on our enemy for vital stuff? I mean, really important stuff. Medicine? We're going to depend on China? Are you kidding me? Like, China's not the risk. China's communist, stupid. And I'll tell you something. They got one hell of an army that knows how to march. It's actually kind of cool. It looks like synchronized swimming without the water. But it's really cool. They get to kick their little legs up real high and everything. It's amazing that you saw this and you thought to yourself, okay, well, this is going to be a wake-up call. This country is going to realize, well, you know something? We can't just hope and pray people are nice to us during bad times if bad times happen again. Because remember, it's not just a pandemic, everybody. What about a war? And we're at one. What if it gets worse? You know what I mean? What about supplies just running out? You know, so to weaken this country, we buy everything from other countries. And then we say, okay, what do we have? 330 million people? Open the southern border. Don't vet anybody. Let them come in and take more of our resources that we don't have and don't make here. We've elected the enemy. You know, that's all, everybody. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. If you think I'm a dick for saying it, well, then I guess I am. But we've elected our enemy. He is horrible. And by the way, when you say Biden, he isn't running anything. He is literally just a puppet. They might as well have marionette strings on him. He calls lids at 9 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He doesn't do anything. And when he does, it's an embarrassment. You almost want him to call a lid so he doesn't embarrass the country. You know, so you have this guy who, and see, but now the worst part of this is try to talk to a liberal and they don't see any of this. They don't see any of it. They literally think the country is fine. You'll say, well, you realize that some major countries are no longer using the US dollar. They're going to use the yen and whatever, and that's going to hurt us. I go, well, whatever. I didn't know, whatever. No, it's not whatever. Stupid. That is going to, between the inflation, the losing money because of accounting errors, and that on top of each other, we are effed, man. And nobody's doing anything. This has been the longest presidency that I've lived through of just seeing one cluster F after another, after another, after another. And, what do you say? You know what I mean? There's really nothing that you can say or do because we don't have anybody fighting for our side. What do you say, Jim Jordan? Because he rolls his sleeves up and he loosens his tie and he acts like he's doing something. Jim Jordan is one of the best facade politicians I've ever seen. Yeah, they all play parts. They're all jokes. This whole country has become a big joke. Our political system is a joke. Look at Liz Warren. How does that screaming moron, even get elected? It's just sad, But when you have all this stuff now going on, in the country with Biden and whatever, and the GOP doing nothing but sitting on their hands, you realize, well, the Democrats aren't as stupid as we thought because they sent the rhinos over, said the right things. The rhinos got elected. And then just like the other day, when the 20 of them defected, all of a sudden, like, things aren't getting passed. People aren't going to be prosecuted because these 20, 30 rhinos stepped up and said, nah, I'm not going to support that. Have you noticed the Democrats never do that? Have you, in the last, let's say, I don't know, 7 years, how many Democrats, and I'm going to exclude Sinema and Manchin, have voted against anything that the Democratic Party has wanted? Now, think the same about the GOP. And think about what's going on right now of how detrimental it is that somebody does stand up and does do something. And we're stuck with these do-nothings, these wannabe book writers, your Lindsey Grahams of the world. You know what I mean? The Lindsey Grahams are people that drive me crazy because Lindsey is this guy, all he does is he goes on TV, he tries to raise money, and he plugs a book every frigging time. That's all he's good for, right? And you know what he did? He saw the Kavanaugh thing and said, hey, watch this, everybody. He went out, tried to make a little stand, said, hey, a lot of these people are, digging it now. A lot of these people are going to say, hey, I like Lindsey Graham. And they did. I did too. I got sucked into it too. And then all of a sudden I was watching him and I'm like, well, you know something? Lindsey never gets anything accomplished when you think about it. Lindsey doesn't change anything. Lindsey raises a lot of money. And apparently he is an author like everyone on Fox and CNN and MSNBC. Everybody's an author. Oh, that's just a way to cash in. I gotcha. And collect your bribes and wash them. I gotcha. It's easier to do that through a clearinghouse than it is, any other way. So you have these people that are phony Republicans. And once again, I don't care about Republican. It's not the Red Sox versus the Yankees, or the Patriots versus the Jets. It's supposed to be one. We're supposed to be one. We all want the same. Well, we all used to want the same thing, our country to do well and be strong. We just had different ideas of how to get there. Now we don't have that. We have people that want this country to belong to the world is what they're saying. So no borders, no checking anybody, and whatever resources. And if you come over here and you're hungry or need a place to stay, you come see us. But I'll tell you something, if you're an American citizen that needs any of that, sucks to be you because you're the ones that are got to pay for it. You got to go to work. You got to pay taxes because these people that are coming in need you to support them. And that's just, it's sick. I'm really tired of this stuff. Real quick, if you want to go once again to the chat room, it's YouTube, Renegade Radio Boston. I'm thinking about bringing Cluster F Radio back. I used to host Cluster F Radio years ago. And I might have a YouTube thing for that. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Let's see. I cannot read. My eyes are so bad. Blue Squaw says, you've lost a lot of weight. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I have over the last year or two started working out and dieting and all that good stuff. So yeah, I have. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm very handsome now. I see. It kills me. So I still probably have about 20, 30 pounds to go at least. And what a pain in the ass that is. Like I go to the gym pretty much 5 to 6 days a week. And I'm just stuck. I'm just in that weird, stuck thing where I just can't get rid of it. But hopefully eventually I will. But I really appreciate you saying that, I really do. Thank you. Now, like I said, starting next week, today's what, Wednesday? I'll be on tomorrow and Friday too. But starting next week, I think, we're going to do more of a show type of format and like, we'll just have fun, like I said, I'll try to get some guests maybe at times, but it's going to be loose, I just missed you guys. And I think, we need to get this stuff out. We need to start talking. I need to get you guys more in a chat room, and I need a phone because I would love for you guys to call in and tell me what you think, and then we could start pushing this thing. You know what I mean? And get us back on the air. And bing, bang, boom. Next thing you know, the Renegade crew, all of us, are taking over Massachusetts again. So what I'm going to do now, I think, it's kind of some stories, but I'm going to get out of here if you don't mind. Well, let's see. I don't know how many of you guys want to get out of here because I know it's a right lunchtime. I'll babble through lunch if you want me to. If you guys are bored and you want me to babble, you know me, I'll babble. If not, I'm going to end it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So let's figure it out. If you go to Renegade Radio Boston and you, on YouTube, Renegade Radio Boston, just follow the subscribe thing. I'll be here for the next day or two. Well, once again, I'm going to be here longer than that. I'm just saying day or two, and I'll be plugging the new thing if we're moving over to the new thing. And let's see. E-Blue. I wish I could read that. I don't know what it says. It says we've missed you. Honestly, I missed you guys too. I can't even explain how weird it is to go from doing shows and talking to you guys and us, because it's weird, especially in Massachusetts. I feel like we found a core group of people that kind of get each other, and we get it, and we're all on the same mindset. Not that we're brainwashed or you think what I think. No, we're all on that same level of, hey, things are getting crazy. Why is no one else noticing? So the fact that we've all kind of connected and found each other is phenomenal. When I wasn't able to do the show for a little bit, let me tell you something, man. There aren't many of us out there, unfortunately. So I can't tell you how many arguments I've been in with people I don't even know because they eavesdrop on something I say and then they want to set me straight. And that's always fun. That's always, and trust me, I'm bored. I'll argue with anybody. So I'm making scenes everywhere I go. But that's why with this show, it was like, oh my God, I missed you. I miss doing this so much. So we will get back on the radio. I did, like I said in the beginning of this, I got 2 emails from people that, once again, I don't think they're going to put us right on tomorrow, but they can help us if they want to. So I'm sending all the information out to them today. Keep your fingers crossed for us. But until we get back on terrestrial, I promise you guys, I'll be doing shows. And we'll try to make them, as fun as we can. A lot of bad stuff going on, but we might as well have a little bit of fun too. And like I said, I want you guys to call in too. Let's see. Frank says, don't bail. I'm eating my lunch and watching. All right. Something, Frank, you got it. I'll hang out for a little bit. But let's see what we could talk. I'm trying to figure out this whole thing, man, with the sub really freaks me out. And I'm hoping they get these people, but if you look at the pictures of this sub, man, wow, that is crazy. They're saying now, I guess this article is a little bit old, about 5 hours. They're saying new assets on the scene in missing sub search after underwater noises are picked up. Underwater noises? What? You know what I mean? Couldn't that be like I don't know, like a whale or a dolphin or a seal? Or is it somebody saying, hey, help? Or is it, that squeaky noise that they make? I don't know. I think it's good that we got people there. I really hope they find them. Oh God, I'm claustrophobic and I'm getting freaked out just thinking about them stuck in there. Let's see. What do you think of Turtle Boy? I don't know what Turtle Boy is. I think John tried to explain that to me for a while. Is he a sports guy or I don't know what he is, honestly. If you could explain that, I'll definitely check it out. Let's see. Urban Dictionary, Colorado campfire. Any news on the sub? No news on the sub yet. That's what we were just talking about a second ago. As far as I know, by the way, I just have 2 sources up here, and God only knows how quickly they update. But no, as far as I know, nobody found yet. Nothing found yet. Horrible. Oh God, man. Imagine that. And I know I talked about it earlier, but if you guys saw the sub, you can go online and Google it. There's a video of one of the guys that was going on the sub, and he's getting a tour. And as the guy who made it, I guess, or runs it, owns it, whatever, is walking through, he's saying stuff like, see that thing right there? Yeah, I got it at Home Depot for $12. Hey, see that thing over there? I got it at GameStop for $9. Hey, see that? And then they said, well, how does the sub work? And the guy pulls out like an Atari, a 1982 Atari controller, because it had the buttons on top too. That's how I know it was 82. Otherwise, it would be prior to 82. And that's the way the sub ran. In my head, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just one of those guys. I'm not that trusting or I'm whatever. But if I was about to get in a sub and the guy pulled out a little tiny game controller to do it, I don't think I'd stay. I don't think I'd stay, man. That's just crazy. But they did, and now they're stuck at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. So hopefully they will find these people. Frank's asking DeSantis or Trump for 2024. You know something, man? That's another thing that I think Trump is playing the game with, but it's a game we shouldn't be playing. We could play that game during normal times. I believed in the beginning until DeSantis kind of went against Trump, and he's doing the same shit. That it should be a DeSantis Trump ticket. It still can be. I just don't like when they go at each other and they start putting each other down. And it's not because I care that somebody's feelings are hurt. It's because I don't want the perception of Trump to be worse, and I don't want the perception of DeSantis to be worse. I think DeSantis, like him or not, has done a good job in Florida. I think he handled the COVID situation very well. I think he's handled the Disney situation very well. He's not going to be pushed around. I like that. It's the America First policy. Here's the thing that people don't get. It has technically nothing to do with Donald Trump. I like Trump. Don't get me wrong. I like Trump, but it has nothing to do with Trump. Trump's just he's the vessel that we're speaking through. He's the guy who had the balls. Think about this. Would anybody else have had the balls to go through what that man just went through and is still going through? Look at him. They're trying to throw him in jail. But he sat there remember those press conferences? He'd stand there for hours being screamed at. Imagine that. Like, I was watching a TV show the other day where they were showing torture. And one of the torture things was they would put headphones on people and they would play these horrible noises. Like, do you remember the noise when you were trying to connect to the internet years ago? Bing bong, like that noise. That baby's crying, whatever. And it drove people crazy. In seconds, he was standing in front of that where people are yelling and screaming and he couldn't get a word in. And it's, they were gaslighting him and they were just going after him. The problem I think with Trump was he was too abrasive. He fought back too hard. And I don't think that's a problem. I like that. I don't think there's any other human being that could have withstood what he withstood for as long as he did. That's just a fact, I think. I don't think that, many people could. I couldn't take that type of abuse, and my family taking that abuse, my friends taking that abuse. At some point, you're going to say, you know something? This ain't worth it. F you guys, I'm out. But he didn't. And he stuck to his guns. And he knows now that he really is our last hope to get our country back. Because if Biden steals this one in 2024, it's over. It's over, Johnny. Because we can't go another 4 years like this. Country will be broke. I mean, we're broke anyway. We were broke before he even got in, but we're going to be even broker. This guy's writing $100 billion checks to people. He's losing $8 billion. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. And the fact that we have this government that won't hold this guy accountable is nuts. So I thought the best thing, and I was really excited about a Trump DeSantis ticket. I thought, because listen how easy it is. And I'm sure I'm not the first guy to say this, but you have Trump president, DeSantis vice president, 4 years of getting things going. Well, then guess what? You put DeSantis run as president. He picks a vice president. There's another 8 years. So whatever policies you put in place will have time to grow and recoup, what we lost and do what we need to do. But they got to get in. And they got to stop attacking each other. So we not only have to deal with, are they going to be stealing the election? Is there going to be voter fraud again? It's also, will Trump and DeSantis get along? De-sanctimonious or whatever Trump calls them. I get it that Trump likes giving nicknames. He's a New Yorker. He's a fighter. That's what he's done his whole life. And like with Trump, like I used to say that a guy from New York, my sister and I used to talk about this all the time. People from New York, New Jersey, tri-state, we used to say would never be president because that attitude does not play further south than, I don't know, DC and further west than the Mississippi. That sarcastic, go F yourself, don't screw around with the attitude, which personally I love, doesn't play because you got soccer moms that feel bad for people, and you have you're overly done liberal idiots, that just think America's bad and we're bad. And, so it doesn't really help when he goes overboard. And when he starts attacking DeSantis, it just doesn't look good. And I know DeSantis has gone after him too. This is stupid. They should grow up and say, look, man, so I would so appreciate Trump and DeSantis more if they would come out now and say, look, yes, we were going at each other because we were playing the game. We're not playing the game anymore. This is, we need to get our country, back. So we're the two guys to do it. I'd be behind that 110%. Will they do it? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore, man, because, I think common sense is no longer common. There's just people are dumb and they want what they want, and they like the drama over stuff more than they like, the norm. That's why, if you notice, liberals will argue with everybody and anybody over anything. Anything. I told this dumb story yesterday too, but when I saw a bunch of people walking, and yes, there were women and men. And when they walked, I said, "Hey guys, how you doing?" Whoops. I should not have called that woman a guy. Stop it. Just stop. How do I know what she identifies as? Well, I don't care what you identify as. You're not woke. No, I'm not woke. You know why? Because woke means stupid. You're brainwashed. Woke means brainwashed, and I'm not woke because what you're saying is stupid. When everything you say is 180 degrees from reality, well, then I'm not following. You know what I mean? I think it's bizarre that companies. The Mark Cuban the other day came out, another guy I can't stand, and was saying that woke companies are the way to go. And yeah, tell Bud Light that. Tell Target that. Tell all these companies now that have lost billions upon billions of dollars in market cap, because of what? Because you're pandering? You're going to pander to, and I have nothing, once again, against gay people. I don't care what you are, but you're not going to force that nonsense down anybody else's throat. It's not the norm. Okay. It's not, is it abnormal? No, but it's not technically mainstream. And I'm talking about other countries. Here, you can be gay and do whatever you want. I don't know why being gay all of a sudden means I have to know how you sleep with somebody. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, remember in the beginning, I just said this, by the way, I'm probably going to get in trouble at some point, but I just said this to the governor of Massachusetts because she's gay and she's a pandering idiot. And, she's talking about how, I guess some state blocked the Supreme Court from telling hospitals and doctors they can't give the blockers to the kids and blah, blah, blah. And all I thought was, years ago, you would hear gay people saying, we don't like this stereotype. Everybody's acting like we're coming after your children. It's nothing like that. We just want to live our lives and we want, to love who we love. And I was behind that. And like I said today, because when she said, thank God for the state, but wait a minute. So you are after the children after all. You do want the kids, and if you don't believe me, once again, take a good look at where the trannies are dancing and twerking in front of kids. Where's story time being told in libraries and schools where you have all this. So they are coming for your kids, man. When Target had the rainbow flag bathing suits for little kids, come on, man. And it wasn't just, it's a rainbow. It was the gay flag. We all get it, and I don't know when the gays took over the rainbow. I have no clue, but apparently they did. The rainbow flag used to mean deadhead for the Grateful Dead. Now it means gives head. but it's incredible to see, the changes that are going on, but they're not beneficial for the country. They're not beneficial for the people. If anything, they're detrimental to everything, to our system, just our way of life, and everybody's behind it. And we have elected the stupid, and the stupid are the ones that are backing this. So it's incredible. It's sad. We live in a sad time. We live in a very sad time. I'm hoping we can get out of it. You know what I mean? And God willing, if enough of us, get together and try to show these people that we're not going to take this nonsense, but it's tough, man, because we're not only going against them, we're going against our own government that is once again, it's a fraud. This country, by the way, when I used to take civics class when I was a kid, I don't think they even teach it anymore. But they used to teach us how in other countries, communist countries, the media would brainwash people because it would be, 3 channels. That's all they had. Or the same news over and over and over again. And they say the same things and it's brainwashing. You ever watch CNN, MSNBC, CBS? Same thing, right? We're being brainwashed, and anybody who is critically thinking gets immediately called a racist, a Nazi, un-American. The last thing I'm going to say about this, because this really bothers me, is we are jailing January 6 people while letting people like Hunter Biden go. We let drug dealers go. We let real criminals. We get people that assaulted people. Cops will arrest, let them go, and they'll assault people again. Look at New York. Look at San Francisco. Look at Philadelphia. Look at Washington. It happens all the time. Um, this is scary stuff. It's scary stuff. There's nobody fighting for the average American anymore because once again we've elected the enemy. You've elected the Bernie Sanders nonsense, the AOCs, then you get to the Talibs and the Omars, and it's just not good. Like we're in a bad place. So hopefully we can all get together and do something. Now, once again, I'd love to get back on the radio and try to get people rallied again, and not like Jeff Cooner does, because Jeff Cooner all of a sudden he becomes the centerpiece of it. I don't want that. I want the centerpiece to be, we got to fix this country, regardless. It has to be fixed. Otherwise, we're not going to exist in a few years. So I think I'm going to try to get on RKO. I think that's a real long shot because someone that does not like this show programs that station, but something like that, something similar, because people need to start rallying. We got, what is it? It's June of 2023. We got a year and 4 months. It sounds like a long time. It's not. A year and 4 months to rally to get this thing together. So hopefully Trump and DeSantis can work through their nonsense. We can work through our nonsense and get our country back. I mean, it would be phenomenal if it would. Real quick, this just popped up because I have to get out of here. I know I'm trying to talk to my buddy Frank's lunch period here. But let's say it says gay bars are dumping Anheuser-Busch over integrity amid Dylan Mulvaney debacle. Here, look. This is what I was saying earlier, and I probably never got to the point. The gay community, I think, in America is very small. It's 3, 4, whatever percent. Transsexuals are a lot less. It's like 0.03% or something like that. You're not going to hurt anybody, okay? You should come out and say something that would, I don't know, identify with the other party or whatever. How many gay bars do you think there are in this country? And do you think it's really going to matter that a whole bunch of gay guys aren't drinking Bud Light? I think there are a lot more straight people that are boycotting for a reason than homosexual people that will be boycott. And if anything, if you really wanted to send a message, I don't know, boycott a fuzzy navel or a pink squirrel, not Bud Light. Settle down. This is a dumb joke. But this is so dumb. You have, once again, Anheuser-Busch, Target, all that stuff. They don't understand what they've done. You're spitting in the face of your base. You're spitting in the face of the people that support you and give you money. Best example of that, Los Angeles Dodgers. And they did it last week. Made me sick. That Sisters of Perpetual something. A bunch of men dressed like nuns and acting like this isn't sacrilegious. We're not making fun of the Catholic Church. What are you guys talking about? They actually had, this made me sick, man. And once again, I've always said this, I'm religious, but I'm not going to force it on anybody. I'm not a flag waver. I love my country, but I don't force it on anybody. This is just sickening. This Sisters of Perpetual crap. What they did was they had a recreation of Jesus Christ being crucified on the cross, and then a bunch of men using the cross as a stripper's pole with him on it. No, that's not sacrilegious. You're not doing it. You know something? You're a good person. You're a good person. You're not. You're a piece of human filth, and I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of my country being attacked. I'm tired of my religion being attacked. I'm tired of my ethnicity being attacked. I'm tired of my gender being attacked. F these people. Who are they? And the ones attacking are the most effed up ones of them all. Let's put it this way. Who is the Secretary of Health of this country? Okay. It's a transsexual. Okay. It's a guy dressed like a fat man dressed like a woman who is married to a very fat woman and has a very fat child. The hell does this guy know about health? Like, does that make any sense? Why would he be our health minister? That's silly. And I think there's another country, damn it, Denmark, Sweden, one of those. And their health minister is obese, not just fat, not just chubby. I'm talking, she's got to weigh 4 bills. She's a pig. And I'm not saying, okay, I shouldn't have said she was a pig. She's a buffalo. What I mean, though, is that's not the type of person that should be in charge of anyone else's health. She can't take care of her own health, right? She can't even monitor her own health. How is she going to monitor yours? Like, I went for a job. Well, I was at the gym yesterday, right? And the guy said, "Oh, we're hiring. You should apply here." And I said, I still got some weight to lose here. Wouldn't it be weird if a heavy guy worked at a gym? Same thing goes for being a health minister. If you are in charge of other people's health, well, you should be healthy. I want to see, my health secretary be in tip-top shape. Every muscle, every whatever, eating, chicken and yogurt and whatever. I don't really think that I should see them ordering, two number fives and a chocolate shake from McDonald's. That's silly. But that's once again where we live. Reality is one side, and we're living 180 degrees in the other direction, and that's a damn shame because that's exactly what's going on right now. But all right, guys, like I said, I'm just rambling today. I think let's see, it's 12:40. You only got 20 minutes left of your lunch, I think. So I'll let you go smoke a cigarette or just relax for a minute before. But thank God I put a cap on this. Remember, oh my God, it's not even all the way on. You old school guys will realize I have dumped more water into more laptops. I've done it 3 times in my career, and I almost just made it a 4th. But I thought, oh, the top's on it. And the top really wasn't. It was placed on there, but it wasn't screwed on. But nothing happened. Don't worry. Still doing the show. And we'll be back tomorrow and everything. So once again, guys, John's not going to be with the show for a while until I get back on terrestrial, and then we're going to try to get Renegade back on. Till then, I'm going to be doing a daily show for you guys. And I want you to join. I need you to get in the chat room, spread the word. We'll have some fun. And it will pretty much be, I'm going to say, I haven't set a time yet, but let's say in between 9 and 10 will be the start time Monday through Friday. And let's see, hold on a second. See, I was just about to get out of here, but Frank just says, what do you think of the whole concept of mass formation psychosis? I would have to look that up. Mass formation. Oh. Well, Let me just. Let's talk about that for a second. I want to Google it because I want to give everybody the correct definition. So, mass formation psychosis. Let's see, mass formation. There it is. Psychosis. Bing. I love when you have to type every single letter until the last one. People are saying, does it really exist? Is it groupthink? Blah 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 blah. Let's see. Let's go to Wikipedia. It's also called mass psychogenic disorder, epileptic hysteria, or mass hysteria involving the spread of illness symptoms through a population. An illness through a population, huh? That sounds familiar. People lose some contact with reality. Yeah. Oh, I believe in this 100%. Oh, okay. You know something, dude? Frank, you're right. 100%. I believe in this. Yeah, totally. I think that people's perception of reality got distorted. I think that people don't understand what's real anymore and what's not real. I think everybody wants to be offended because then it gives you the right to be holier than thou. There's nothing more satisfying to a human being than to be correct in what you're saying and to find someone else who's not, and then get to lecture them about how right you were, that holier than thou thing. And it's called being a Democrat. They love it. And it doesn't matter if what they're saying is true. They have to say it's true, and they have to try to make you believe it's true. And yes, so obviously this mass formation psychosis is exactly that. And it pretty much started, I'd say, with COVID. Well, it didn't start, but it got pretty big with COVID. Because I don't know if you heard, but I guess there's been a few people who have recently gotten ill or died after getting the 4th, 5th, 16th shot, whatever it is. And they're actually blaming it, the shot this time. And doctors are saying, well, yeah, it gave them, what is it called? Myocardial? I don't know. The heart crap. And everyone else is saying, no, those doctors are lying. So yeah, the kid who's smoking weed with purple hair, who doesn't know what gender he is on Twitter, knows more than the doctor who just helped this person or how to, watch this person die or cut him open and see what happened. And, it's all about being right. It's not. And once again, when I say right, it's not about being technically right, because technically they're wrong. It's false. Everything they're saying and doing is false. But in their heads, they have to be right. So yeah, I believe in it. I think this country, if you listen to Bill Gates, okay, I hate Bill Gates. Okay, let's just start it off there. I think Bill Gates is a pig. But Bill Gates, before the pandemic, was saying how the world is too overpopulated. We need some sort of pandemic to thin it out. Okay. He also said how there needs to be a power transfer because America has been in power for way too long. Whatever. And out of nowhere, here comes COVID. And COVID killed the elderly. And that's what, that's also what Gates was saying, that we live too long and they're using too many resources. So the sick and the elderly, they're really just a drain on humanity. And then COVID came along and pretty much took care of them. Right. I mean, went through the nursing homes, went through, my sister had terminal cancer at the time. Thankfully she never got it. But that could have killed her. I mean, granted, I know it's terminal cancer. She was going to die, whatever, but that could have killed her. It was almost this weird thing of they were just warning us. And now Bill Gates has since said there's going to be food shortages, which they've started. Our own president has said 3 times over the last year, oh, yeah, there's going to be food shortages. But everybody doesn't want to believe it. So you kind of just, whatever. Don't worry. Everything's okay because Biden's there and he'll take care of it. So we're in this weird spot where I think we're dealing with some people who refuse to be brainwashed and kind of stayed away from that stuff. Other people dove in head first, and now we're kind of battling each other. And the problem with that is common sense is losing. So that's what I think about that, Frank. All right. So, all right, guys. Well, it's been an hour and a half. That's not bad to ramble, right? I am going to get out of here. Today is Wednesday, June 21st. Once again, it's my mommy's birthday. She's in heaven. So happy birthday, Mom. And I will be back tomorrow. Let's say 10 o'clock. So Thursday, June 22nd of 2023, I'll be here at about 10. Same thing for Friday. And then we'll start a whole new show on Monday, which I'm sure will be fantastic because I will work on it. Maybe. I'll try my best. Frank says, great job today. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Thank you, John, Blue, everybody. I really appreciate it. And Frank just said, chin up. Hey, I'm not depressed about anything, brother. I really think that once we get together and once we get, and I'm talking about all of us, once we get, this movement back together, we'll be all right. Don't worry about it. We'll take this country back. We have to. We don't really have a choice. So we got it. We just got to worry about the financial crap first. So, all right. So once again, guys, I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you all so much for listening. And once again, thank Ed and John and Frank and and all you people that didn't sign in. Couldn't appreciate you guys anymore. I hope you have a great, safe day. Go out, enjoy it. It's beautiful out. Have a good time with your families, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.